Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
Josh is in Albany, New York. Josh, welcome to the Ramsey Show. How you doing?
Hey, fellas. Thanks a ton for taking the time to chat with me today. I appreciate it. Hey, so I find myself kind of at a bit of a positive financial crossroads in my life. I just started a new job in Long Island that pays $125K a year, which is more than double my previous salary. It's great. But I currently live in Albany, New York. So
wow.
I have been commuting down, and it's about, anywhere from 6 to 8 hours a day of driving, depending on traffic.
Oh, hold on a second. How long have you been commuting 6 to 8 hours a day?
It's only been 2 weeks, and it is on a hybrid schedule. So I'm only in the office 2 days at the moment, so it's not exceptionally brutal. And it will probably be 3 days on site, moving forward. And my initial intention was to move down to the city, but the more I do the math, the more I think about it, the more I'm debating just doing the commute and functionally doubling my already doubled salary,
Ooh, are you married, kids? What's your status?
No, single as the day is long.
Okay.
I don't even have a house plan to worry about.
I think it's bananas that you're even considering doing this, but the fact that you're single is the only scenario.
Yeah. How old are you?
By which I could do that.
32.
32. Okay. Well, I'll tell you, it's not a sustainable solution. No. Even 2 or 3 days a week, your mental health is going to suffer. You'll be calling the Dr. John Deloney show shortly here because of this. So we've got to find a solution. And if that means finding a different job, finding a job that's closer that can pay you that, or moving to Long Island and figuring it out, maybe you get a roommate for a while to be able to afford the cost of living there.
Why don't we get rid of the extreme, Josh, and why don't we think 30 miles, 40 miles outside of Long Island? Let's get outside a little bit where maybe the cost of living is not as much as being, right there where you work. Split the difference a good ways here. I just think you're going to eventually get miserable. You're going to be miserable with all that. And by the way, that's just not good for you, your health. It's just not good for you. Putting a lot of miles on your car, there's just a lot of diminishing returns to this. I'd really like to talk you out of it.
Okay.
So George is the best at this. All right. So I'm gonna tap George here on the shoulder, tag team here. Let's talk him through roommate. Let's walk through his raise plus cost of living. Let's walk through this.
Here's what happens, Josh. People tend to go, well, I've got A and B. A is I stay in Albany, I commute 8 hours, or B, I move to Long Island and I'm broke. And I go, what about C, D, E, F, G? I mean, you go down through the alphabet here. And so let's talk through those scenarios. Could you move closer to Long Island but not directly in the city and have a half-hour commute, 45-minute commute?
Yeah, I mean, I think if I'm going anywhere even close to the city, my minimum commute is already going to be like an hour, even unless I can find something explicitly like in the township that I would be in, but the cost of living there is actually much higher because it's kind of a rich area. So I've been looking at like maybe Poughkeepsie, something to cut it in half, maybe an hour and a half commute each day.
So how much more is it?
Don't mind the drive.
How much more does it cost you to live in Poughkeepsie? By the way, I love saying that word.
I knew it. I was just thinking Ken loves saying that word.
It just came out of my mouth and it felt so good. So I'm going to say it again. Poughkeepsie.
There it is.
There it is. How much more is it to live there than where you're living now in Albany?
Well, my current situation in Albany, my rent is $575 a month, which I'm never going to live this cheap again in my life.
Yeah, are you in a box?
No, it's actually a great apartment.
Wow.
My room is like 400 square feet. It's gigantic.
400 square feet's never gigantic. But how much
not
difference?
The whole apartment, just my bedroom.
Your bedroom. Okay. What's the difference in cost?
Probably I'm looking at a minimum of at least $1,500 increase in rent, probably $2,000 in rent.
For a one-bedroom?
Sounds about appropriate. Yeah, probably $1,500 to $2,000, somewhere in there.
What about a two-bedroom?
Probably only a little bit more, maybe $2,200.
Okay, so that's where I'm going with this. You get one roommate, a similar, guy like you, in his 20s, early 30s, single, and just looking to have a place to crash. That's all you're looking for. A guy who's clean, who can pay on time. Now your rent is $1,100, right? But you also just gained 7 hours of your life back every single day.
Yeah. And not to mention, you just doubled your salary, correct?
Yeah, more so. More than that.
Okay,
so doubling your rent payment is not the end of the world.
Yeah, it's not like you're going backwards. I think in your mind, you're so stuck on this unbelievable rent that you have, $500 a month, which is unbelievable. It's like you're in the Stone Age. Somehow you've managed that. That's phenomenal. Good for you. But you're looking at that and the increase over that, and you're not looking at how much better your life is. This great job that you love, you over double your salary. I think you need to be focusing on that, and this is about stretching and growing, and you can handle a $1,500 a month, one bedroom. That's not outrageous, given the money he's making.
Yeah, well, do you have any debt?
Just my car, which is about $32,000, but that's it.
How much do you owe on that?
On the car?
Yeah, is it 32?
Yeah, 32.
Oh, what's it worth?
Probably about that. It's a 2022 Subaru Outback. I just bought it earlier this year.
Yeah, but dude, you are just appreciating the snot out of that thing with all that driving.
You're going to put 100,000 miles on that thing in a year, the way you're going.
That's the number one reason to move. Is that right there?
Yeah, you're going to be underwater on that car.
Yeah, that
if you aren't already.
It's going to be screaming at you, swearing at you, puffing.
I'd get you a Prius if you're going to be driving 7 hours a day.
There you go.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I think you know what to do, Josh. The hard part is letting go of this amazing rent and dealing with the idea of having a roommate and moving again. But man, it is worth it. You doubled your income, and there's got to be some sacrifices that come along with that if you're going to keep this job long term.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, you got this, man. You're not doing anything crazy. I mean, he's really nervous about that rent.
I can't picture taking a road trip every single day just to go to work and back. When is he leaving the house? 2 a.m.? He's probably not sleeping.
I didn't want to ask that because I was afraid I was going to break out in a rash just for him. Just the anxiety of thinking about did he say 6 to 7 hours?
6 to 8 hours total.
6 to 8 hours
total. So we're talking, that's probably 3 or 4 each way, I imagine.
And then he goes, well, it was only a couple of days a week. I don't care if it's once a month. That would drive me bananas.
No, thank you.
I don't like to be in a car very long.
You need your beauty sleep. You don't get this with 3 hours, 4 hours of sleep.
Look, it takes a few minutes to do this hair, too. This doesn't happen in a couple of minutes. There's a process here, George.
We both have our process. Well, I don't think your personal sanity, your physical health, your mental health is worth commuting to that job. Even if it's a dream job.
Yeah,
you're living a nightmare.
Do not forget that hampers your ability to do your job well and potentially get promoted. So this is a holistic life decision here. I hope he goes closer.